Hello, it's me. On this sunny day here in the UK, and it is sunny, it's a gorgeous day outside, we are faced with war across the planet, specifically Iran, and what Israel and America have seen fit to do. Are they wrong? Well, if they're looking out for themselves, then no, and they do seem to be looking out for themselves and their interests. But then Iran also has a duty to look after itself and its interests. And there is the circle that needs squaring. And I can't help but return to the thought time and time again as I watch the chaos unravel across the planet as it has been doing over the last few years about how the left is dead. And it killed itself. But it didn't do so voluntarily. It was hijacked. It was hijacked by private interests, political interference, and an ideology that would see dissatisfaction and discord in almost every area that flew the liberal left flag. Leaders like Starmer are now everywhere. However, they're being found out. The mask is slipping. These political leaders are all tied up in personal scandal of one sort or another. If it's not a wife who keeps beating you up, it's talk of rent boys, but more likely misconduct in political office. Liberal politics has been, at its very core, divisive. It was designed that way. And where did it spring from? Well, I think a most likely direction would be to look into the Epstein files and find out how many political individuals Epstein managed to entangle. And who was Epstein working for? Well, I think the easiest thing to do is a bit of research on your own part. I've said what I think on this channel before on more than one occasion, and I didn't have any proof. But there's that old saying, isn't there? No smoke without fire. Liberal politics was created to sow the seeds of dissent across the planet, and it was planted firmly in the left. In my opinion, the left has always been a place where unsatisfied or rather dissatisfied political refugees would go to find some comfort, some political stability. When they got to the left to find that comfort and political stability, well, they found DEI. They found liberal left politics. They found divisiveness under the guise of championing those who were sexually and gender oppressed. And it struck me as unbelievable that many people who are intelligent, who we know are intelligent, couldn't see what was going on. That the fight to champion minorities was being turned into a big stick. And I was also amazed at how many people eagerly jumped on the bandwagon, unable to see that they were being played. This was their moment to shine. This was their moment in the sun. And so it rolled out and set fire to everything that the left had built. The political left home had been turned into a ghetto. We were all roundly played. And frankly, it was a masterstroke. It was absolutely genius, because now we sit here in the wreckage of the left and we look at across the political landscape and it's the right is right. I still can't quite believe as I sit here now that I've gone to the right to find my comfort. Because much of what they're saying is actually making some kind of sense under what I see as the political landscape. And I'm aware that not everybody sees it the same way I do. But I can only go on the information that I have. And the information I have is telling me that the right is where I should be leaning. But I can't quite bring myself to do so. I've made no secret of the fact here that I'm a lefty. I'm also very much, I suppose, a humanist in many ways. But not at the exclusion of anyone else. We either rise together or we fall divided. But as we sit here in the mess that the liberal left have made of the left, there is a light shining. Your party recently held the vote to choose its leader, and it chose Jeremy Corbyn. I've often said and believe that he is the most principled man in politics. Is he perfect? No. If you want to know why, pop back and look at a few of the earlier videos. I explain it there. But during this grand enshittification of British politics by the liberal left, democracy in one small part of politics at least has taken its course and chosen who, in my opinion, is the right leader for this party. But can Jeremy Corbyn and your party shine brighter than the lights being shed by reform? Or, more importantly, restore? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Much of what Jeremy Corbyn stands for is what British politics needs to be right now. But people have fears around immigration, and your party need to get their skates on and start to release statements that make sense to their ears. And I don't mean they need to bend and betray themselves. No, there is always a way to walk the political line that ensures that you remain true to your own beliefs. The entirety of politics is, in one way, shape, or form, a compromise. It's a deal between parties that always has some degree of dissatisfaction attached to one element or another of the deal. And Jeremy Corbyn is very experienced in this area. And if anyone can do it, he can. But if he doesn't start speaking the language of the British people, or at least the language that they're looking for right now, they will languish for many years at a time when Britain needs them most. And that ultimately is the line that Jeremy Corbyn needs to walk. How much of his core beliefs is he willing to bend in order to be the party that is most palatable here in the UK and gain power, so that he can then start the fight to save Britain? Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share. It would really help the channel. And until next time, do look after yourselves.